Good afternoon, everyone. Had I seen this ahead of time, I would have surely worn something much more colorful. So I hope I didn't disappoint you, Kelly. It is certainly a pleasure to be here this afternoon. However, I am feeling like the bologna in the bologna sandwich. Because first, Lauren and Lori gave us those extremely powerful and pertinent messages, and I'm going to be followed by Lovey, whom we all know is one dynamic woman, and Nicole. And so here I am. So I'm going to do my very best to talk to you about my work in the corporate industry. So thank you, YWCA, for getting us. You do understand Intren and what we are trying to do to change the face of construction. So we have at our core a culture of stewardship. And we practice stewardship. We strive every day, and we practice it with our customers. We practice stewardship with our employees. We practice it with other contractors, especially diversity contractors, and in the communities wherever we work. And through the past 29 years, it is in my DNA to give back. I must. I'm compelled. I have no choice. And so for all those years, I always tried to reach out to other women and minority contractors, to bring them on board, to help them in any way that I could. But in the past, about 6 years ago, I began to notice that the window was closing and that it was getting harder and harder for that diversity contractor to get in. Now, they could possibly get into second tier, but I knew what had happened to me and how my company had grown, and I also wanted them to have that opportunity. So I thought about that. How can we make that happen? Because second tier, in some regards, is really second place. Even though we're very happy to be second tier and have the work when we get in, if that door is shut and you can't get to be a prime contractor, then that could certainly be a problem. And so things had changed in the utility space, because in the past, the utility companies had many, many contractors on their property. But recently, in the last 6 years, they went towards a model where they only wanted 3 or 4. Certainly, that was much easier to manage and much more efficient than having 25 on the property. And so how then were we going to do something to help those contractors? So we came up with the idea at Intren to have a mentoring program. And the goal of that program was that in 1 year, these contractors that we were working with would go from being a second tier to a prime. And we vetted those contractors because our work is dangerous work. We work with gas and electric. So to have them on the property puts Intren at risk if they should have an incident. So we vetted them heavily. We certainly found their strengths and their weaknesses. We began to share our back offices wherever they had a need, because we have a pristine back office system at Intren. We shared our equipment. We brought our best people out into the field to work with them until we felt very comfortable that they were ready to be on their own. And I will tell you that that has become a very successful program. 2 of those contractors now bid against me as a prime and have won several contracts. So people say, Lord, Loretta is foolish because she's creating her own competition. And I say, foolish is as foolish does. Intren has over 1,500 employees. Last year, we did over $400 million. We have, in revenue, we have over 2,000 pieces of heavy equipment, and we are in 11 states. That doesn't spell foolish to me. There is a very powerful program that we have implemented, but there's that message. Intren personifies what can be done when you really are sincere and you really give. And there's one thing that we do know at Intren. We know this is not a choice. We know that it is a mandate from a higher power that we must give back and we must make a difference. Because the right thing to do is always right. Even when it hurts, even when it causes us loss, and even when it slightly affects that bottom line for a corporation. Thank you.